Hello, everyone. Welcome to the interactive session with Rupsa Karmakar tonight. I'm Saurabhishwar Sen from Catalyst, founder and chief mentor, welcoming each and every one of you to a very open-hearted, free-flowing discussion on the different career pathways with the mental health care sector. Today being World Mental Health Day provides us with a renewed hope that we will be able to support our society with the much needed intervention, clarity, awareness, level of acceptability that is required to come to terms with the different dynamics of our mind, our mental health, our mental well-being, our mental wellness, and definitely how do we tackle mental health diseases. I welcome each and every participant tonight to be part of this discussion. Share your ideas and thoughts with Rupsa. I can't be more happier to introduce Rupsa to all of you. Rupsa presently is pursuing her PhD from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and she has been working extensively in the space of psychotherapy. Rupsa's experience has expanded across working as a marriage and family therapist, neuropsychologist, substance abuse counselor, clinical psychologist, school counselor in locations like Jharkhand, Kolkata, Thane, and Mumbai. While pursuing Bachelors in Psychology from Loreto College, Kolkata, Rupsa joined the Catalyst training program to prepare and expand her profile for masters in professional opportunities with mental health care. Rupsa continued with her foray into the mental health care by pursuing a master's program in applied clinical psychology at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, following which she pursued and completed her MPhil from TIS. And as we speak, she's researching with her doctoral studies in psychology. Throughout the session, what we would request each and every participant is that you can use your microphone, your chat box to really ask and raise as many questions and queries for Rupsa to address. The second important aspect that we would also like to highlight is that we do not want tonight's session to be like a one-off discussion on career pathways with mental health care, but we should try to focus on how we can sustain the dialogue for the night into more targeted action that we can take in terms of, as Rupsa was highlighting just before we started, innovation in the sector of mental health, investment in the sector of mental health, as well as insurance in the sector of mental health. Without any further delay, I would like to hand over the session to Rupsa. Thank you so much, Rupsa, for your time and energy to be with us.
Thank you so much, sir, for this humble introduction, and I am very obliged to be a part of this conversation today. Every time I would say that mental health is a very not conventional model we are looking at, and every day is a day you take care of your mental health. And it's not one day we celebrate, as today is 10th October and today is World Mental Health, the International World Mental Health. Today we celebrate, but it is not one day we are celebrating, but every day we are celebrating this mental health. So as it is an online discussion, it becomes a little difficult for me to connect to everyone. So I would request to everyone to use their videos, audios, chat boxes, whatever is possible. And during this course of time, if you feel like talking, discussing anything, I would be available, and even after the session also. So now I would be sharing the screen. I would do a little bit of exercises to warm up the session. And I would also encourage everyone to participate in the session, because it's not a one-dimensional approach we are taking, but everyone is, helping and accommodating this process, right? So give me a second. I would share my screen. Yeah. I hope that my screen is visible. And yeah. And I am in the, yes. Give me a second. It's loading. So I would be talking in careers and mental health, but my major focus is also celebrating World Mental Health and also encouraging each and everyone to have a wonderful dialogue with each other, because it becomes still difficult if you're not having dialogues about mental health, dialogues about taking care about yourself, and dialogues about how every day is a day we celebrate mental health. So, first of all, happy World Mental Health Day. And the theme for this year's mental health is that making mental health and well-being for all a global priority. And that from there we would take everyone to how intersectional and how important it is, and how contribution to mental health is everyone's responsibility rather than one single group, one single people. So I just want to do a little bit of check-in before we start a session or something. So there is a, as you see on the left side of the PPT, there is a check-in for everyone, before starting this session, because I feel that whatever we are doing, we had a long day. It's 8:15 now, and it's very difficult for us to concentrate on a lecture or whatever it is right now. So I just want to check that how you are feeling right now, how you all are being in this moment right now. So there is a small boxes here, like you're scared, angry, sad, worried, happy, excited, surprised, silly. So I want you to just reflect what you're feeling right now, what you have felt today, and you today you feel this, and what is the reason associated with that feeling. And that you just need to write it on a piece of paper and just keep it to yourself. And another thing is that whenever we are doing a checklist of our feelings, we would just keep in mind that how it is important to access to all the feelings in our life. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed, what you need to do. So there are a few things that I've written so that, whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to take a step back. When you're stressed, focusing on relaxing. When you're anxious, practicing the coping skills. When you're sad, you have to be loving and nurturing to yourself. When you're angry, you have to find a positive outlet for that anger. When you're drained, you need to rest and recharge. When you're broken, you have to adhere to self compassion. When you're upset, you have to take time for yourself. And when you're alone, you have to reach out to support. Because every time we have a lot of myths associated with mental health, we have to bust those myths. And I'll talk about some of the myths and how we are busting it. So, as we had a group of, so how many people are there? How many people?
So 13.
13?
Yeah,
Okay.
13.
So I just want everyone, I wouldn't, do the first exercise. I would just start from this exercise. Like you have to assess or give an adjective to yourself, so that from this time onwards you regard yourself in that way. So for me, I would use the word raw Rupsa, real Rupsa. Okay. And this is sir, you can continue from there. You give yourself a name, something, some adjective that you can resonate with, something you resonate with.
So I would say, like, if I want to use an adjective,
Yeah.
So I love the adjective, or I love the word challenge. I love the word challenge. I mean, I'm not able to make it into an alliteration as raw Rupsha,
Yeah.
but I would love to, take a challenge head on. So
Yeah.
I always get very excited when there is a
Yeah.
challenge in front of me. Thank you.
Yeah. So challenging, sure, sure. So
Thank
same
you.
way, I would request everyone who is present in the meeting to have an adjective to oneself and put it in the chat box if you feel comfortable. You can switch on the video and also say. So I would just give 2-3 minutes to this so that you all are, in this together. So yes, if you can put it in the chat box, you can also switch on the video and tell me, or you can just, text whatever makes you feel comfortable, right? So your time starts now. If you're done, you can put a thumbs up. If you're not done, you can put thumbs down. So whatever suits you. Yeah, wonderful. Ayan said that amazing, Ayan. Wonderful, Ayan. And every day is amazing if you just feel it that way. So yeah, amazing, Ayan. Yes, wonderful. Articulated Khushi. Wonderful, Khushi. I really love the fact that you really reflected on that side of you where you can articulate your feelings. So you can put down your feelings. Wonderful, great. Who else? Self-determined Debanjana, wonderful Debanjana, motivated Shiny, graceful Mehvash, wonderful. I love these adjectives. So empowering, so wonderful. More adjectives, please. Confident Joshua, wonderful, wonderful. The whole purpose of working towards this and having this adjectives is that giving us an ourselves an identity thing to look back upon, so that whenever we feel a little bit of ourselves going here and there, or some things which are not matching our feelings, our thinking, we can go back to these adjectives and reflect how we are feeling. So when we are saying motivated Shayoni, the times when we are not feeling that much motivated, we could look into those adjectives that we giving ourselves, so that we can reflect on what we are feeling at that point of time. Tenacious Kuldeep, wonderful Kuldeep, and I hope that this keeps on going. Wonderful. So we keep on, reflecting on these adjectives, reflecting on these adjectives on a greater level, right? So one thing I really wanted to say is that, like the adjectives which are very different from each other, we as individuals seated here in this room, in this Zoom conference, maybe 16, 17 people, we are all different from each other. Our needs are very different from each other. And that's the reason we need mental health, because when we're having physical sickness, we can easily avail to the doctor and say that, okay, today my head is aching, today my stomach is paining. But when it comes to mental health, we are often are always in that stigma, or all the aura that reaching out may cause a little bit of difficulty. Okay, we are fine, we can deal with it. So every time when we look into adjectives, it's also the fact that we are also different, but so beautifully together in one way or the other. So, what is mental health after all? When we talk about what is mental health, actually, it contains a lot of domains. Not only the emotional, psychological domain that we know, but also the physical, the environmental, the cultural, the day to day, the daily activities, the community, the culture that we belong to. The most important thing is that it's a basic right for everyone. When we're talking about mental health, it's not what we say, it's not something which we should ignore. It's something that we are using in our daily life. It's just like the freedom of speech that we have. We should also access the freedom to access care, support for our mental health. So that's the thing, it's the basic human right. Since we are born till the stage we are in, we have to access and look into ourselves and reflect on what makes us feel comfortable, what causes distress, what are the reason why some certain issues that we are having. So every time we are trying to reflect into what is mental health, we have to look into the underpinnings of how it is important to reflect on mental health, because it helps us to build relationships, make decisions, shape the world, and also so forth and so by. So there's a lot of determinants of mental health. There's individual, there is communities, there is social, economical, environmental factors. There are risks associated in each stage of mental health. And there's also, to counter that, there will be protective factors, things that protect you from having difficulty in your mental health. So each and every time you think that there is some issue, you have to also rely to the protective factors that are near you. Okay, each and every time we are going ahead in our life, sometimes we will be facing difficulties. And how to overcome that is also a part of the protective factors, how we are going to deal with it. So the WHO and also a lot of organizations have been working towards promotion, prevention, and also structuralizing a lot of the mental health care access and the reliability. So there has been reshaping of a lot of mental health domains and health sectors to ensure promotion, preventions, which includes education, labor, justice, and welfare and environment sectors. And also we have to realize that there are other DALIs, the daily requirement of the individual, which are getting affected. So we have to reflect on how these can be, reduced. So the health sector also contributes majorly, and they also help us in promotion and prevention of these efforts. So we have to think about how to reduce these burden, mental health burden, because in our budget, the whole idea of the budget and how much less access of funds is given to the budget is also a reflection of these promotion and prevention programs. So in sustainable developmental goals, suicide prevention has become a global priority. And there's a lot of much progress is happening on the field regarding that. Also, children and adolescents' mental health can be achieved by the different policies and laws to protect the mental health of individuals. And also, we have to look how promotion of mental health in workspaces is also an interesting domain. So, as I said, the WHO's response in 2020 was also to analyze countries' performance against action, which our plan showed how insufficient advances against the targets of the lead action plan. So, there are paths to transformation, the WHO said, where, how we can increase the borders of mental health. First, we can do to deepen the value given to mental health by individuals, communities, and governments, reshape the physical, social, economic, and characteristics of environments, and strengthen mental health care so that the full spectrum of mental health needs is met through community-based work or accessible, affordable, quality services and supports. The whole idea of mental health cannot it is not a one by one approach, it's a community's approach. Everyone in the community is associated, and that is the most important thing about mental health in recent times. So so I just want to focus on individuals who are young here, right? So individuals have a lot of questions regarding why should I study psychology? What's the importance? Why mental health? So firstly, I would just bust a few myths rather than going into what is psychology, the psyche behind that. We'll not go into that. So let's bust some ideas. So one of the things that we keep on hearing is that when you develop a mental health issue, you'll have it forever. And people who have a lot of mental health issue cannot have a job, and mental health problems are uncommon. People going to a therapist is a sign of weaknesses. And you can tell when someone is suffering from mental illness, but it is not so. In researchers, it has been seen that individuals who have mental health concerns often don't share because of these taboos of this myth. So there are the few myths I have written. I just wanted to portray some myths. I hope that there are more myths, and I want you as an audience to write down these myths down in the chat box so that I can talk to you regarding these myths and reflect about these myths. So few myths are like, if a person has a mental health condition, it means the person has low intelligence. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When an individual is having mental health concerns, that doesn't mean that individual is having any issue related to his intelligence, her intelligence, their intelligence. It's completely a wrong discussion. You only need to take care of mental health issue or concern if you have a mental health condition. No, you have to take care of your mental health all the time. Poor mental health is not a big issue for teenagers. Poor mental health is an issue for teenagers, individuals who are growing up. And we have to realize that hormones are not an issue, but individuals facing these issues are because of the social, cultural, and biopsychosocial factors, right? Nothing can be done to protect people from developing mental health conditions. There are protective factors, and we can protect people from developing mental health conditions from beforehand if we can stop those things. Mental health condition is a sign of weakness. If the person were stronger, they would not have this condition. Absolutely wrong, because anyone can have any type of mental distress at any point of time. however much strong they are. We have seen Deepika Padukone and her monologue on how individuals, people, things have been, been, and how things were for these individuals later or during the point they were suffering from mental health distress. So yes, this is a very important thing we can look into. Yeah. Yeah. So just a bit on how proceeding a career would look like, just a bit. So if you want to have a goal towards working towards a mental health sector, it's very important to just know your goal first. First, you have to do a graduation, then a master's in a specialization in a particular field, if that's possible. Then you can work with the population you want, you can do research. Then there are individuals who are clinical psychologists, and the clinical psychologists often have an RCI degree, so you have to register yourself to an institute where that is provided. You can do job or research later on. Also, we have to know that there are psychiatric social workers, and everyone associated in the field of mental health, and not only psychologists, only psychiatrists with an MBBS MD degree. So yeah, what does a psychologist do? People often ask me this question: what is the use of a psychologist? So it's just not, like talk therapy that people have the idea about that. So it's conducting assessments, conducting interviews, creating treatment plans, individualized ones, create behavior modification program, teaching patients to overcome the issues, preparing clinical reports, ensuring patients' records are accurate and complete. Also, current knowledge, research, participation, the education programs, then there will be peer review work, then there will be conducting psychological research, reporting findings. The list goes so on and so forth. And there's a lot of personal skills also required when we are looking into the skills. So firstly, when we're looking into the personal skills, a lot of empathy, genuineness, and also communication skills to counsel your patients. Also a lot of your personal patience to understand what what the client is facing. Genuine passion for helping the individuals, also accepting a lot of death, departure, separation, understanding ethical dilemmas in the context. So before I go ahead anymore, I just want to check in with the group. Is everyone feeling comfortable and safe? If you're feeling okay, just give a thumbs up. If you're feeling that, I'm bored, I'm done, you can do like this, or not good. Just this or this, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Yeah. I hope everyone is with me and everyone is in the right. Okay. So often when we are working towards going to have a very safe mental health space, it's very important to keep ourselves safe, calm, and also stable. So in this group, I really want everyone has their own history. Everyone is dealing with a lot of issues, personal, whatever, private, professional. So I want everyone to just take a deep breath right now. Everyone to take a deep breath right now. And we would do a 5 senses exercises so that we just reduce the tension, the worry that we have in our life right now. So everyone just calm down and take a deep breath and just listen to me. Just slowly open your eyes, and can you see the 5 things near you that makes you feel comfortable? Just 5 things near you that makes you feel comfortable. Yeah. 4 things that you can touch and feel. Any 4 things that you can touch. It can be your shirt, it can be your bed sheet, it can be your earphones, it can be the water bottle nearby. Just feel that nearby. 3 things that you can hear. It can be the cooker going off, the azan right now. So anything, the 3 things that you can hear right now. Yeah. 2 things that you can smell. It can be anything, your perfume, agarbatti, anything. And one thing that you can taste, or maybe you just keep to yourself, chocolate or whatever it can be. So the basic thing when we look into is that when we are in a situation, often we have to stay calm, safe, and present, and that is how we can stay for the time being. Also, many a times individuals cannot do this exercise, so just think about a safe, calm place that you went or that is comfortable for you. It can be your partner's hug, it can be the trip you went, it can be a book that you really loved reading. So it can be anything that can regulate your senses, that can make you feel comfortable and make you feel happy. Okay, if we are done, can we just go to the next slides? If you are comfortable, you can just put a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you're not, yeah. So yeah. So so the most important perspective about mental health care is the interdisciplinary perspective about it, because every subject is interdisciplinary related to psychology, be it physiology, be it logic, be it hospital administration, social work, be it anything right now, management for that matter of fact, everything is related to mental health. So when we're looking into the interdisciplinary perspective of mental health, it's very important that for clients, for careers and families, for healthcare professionals, for educators and students, and for healthcare delivery system, it's very important that all these determinants come into the forefront. So for clients, when we're looking into a very interdisciplinary perspective, it makes us use time efficiently. It can serve the clients from different cultural backgrounds. Also, it helps to empower clients, and it can also coordinate services. For careers and family carers, the basically we can do that to broaden the social, cultural, and health issues experienced by families, involves a lot of range of professionals in the process. And for healthcare professionals, it encourages innovation, increases professional satisfaction, also enables practitioners to learn new skills and approaches. And for students and educators, offers multiple healthcare approaches to study. It also increases participation, challenges norms, develops a multidisciplinary perspective. And for the healthcare delivery system, it reduces health expenditure, also maximizes resources, holds potential for efficient delivery of the system, also decreases the burden that has on healthcare system. So the biopsychosocial model is something which we are looking into. So there would be the biological, psychological, social, cultural, spiritual domains of the individual in a smaller context. And on the outer context will be the cultural, socioeconomic, historical, political context of the individual. And in the center comes the community, the team, and the family carers. So it is the help of everyone that we are going towards a better mental health perspective, right? So for a practical change in the mental health care, we really need to look into that how system is an important domain when we are looking into mental health. So the family, the carers, the people who are nearby, they actually help in the system's growth. And also it is important that goal is set so that the goal is reached at a later stage. And roles and responsibilities are broken down, and there's a lot of strengthening of the personal and interpersonal skills, using of technologies, fostering the development of networks among the different sectors of people, right? So I think, as I talked about, relationship of psychology with other disciplines. So every and all disciplines are related to psychology. If you look into that perspective, be it psychiatry, law, criminology, medicine, pharmacology, biology, sociology, history, everything is related, statistics, economics. So there is not one definition of how it is related, but it is a multiple factors that through which we can see the relatedness. So when we're talking about careers in mental health, it's all about not limiting yourself to one careers, one set pattern, the ideas that we had. Everyone can contribute and help in careers of mental health. It is not something, a small idea or something which we have. It is a great idea. It's a big idea. So everyone needs to hold hands and join and pledge together for a better environment and a better growth of this field. So I mentioned some of the careers that can be there, but there can be multiple other careers, multiple other options. It's just few of it. And I worked in few of the roles, so I can put few of the roles, but I think there are multiple roles. So yeah. Places you find psychologists. I think you need to psychologists everywhere, be it universities, hospitals, business, consultancies, criminal justice system, schools, and other places. Yeah. And some common fields in our country I have put down: clinical, counseling, school, forensic, child, sports, industrial, neuropsychology, and social work. So we'll just do a positive self-talk so that we are in having a positive self-regard for ourselves. So often it's very important to give us the regard that yes, we are feeling comfortable, we are feeling positive, we are feeling, at space with what we are doing. So the whole idea of you being enough, you can go through this time, you're doing wonderful and it is good for you. Today you're feeling like a leader, you can trust and believe in yourself, and you're loving and accepting yourself is an important thing. So I just want you all, though during the pandemic I used to do, now we can virtually give like not virtually but in person give hug to each other, but still I would want to do this exercise with you. So I just want you all to hug yourself right now like this, giving a close grip hug to yourself, like I and Sarah have been doing. You can switch on your videos also if you feel comfortable, but you can just give a hug to yourself and say that you can and you will. And everything is possible if you try, or anything that suits you right now, right? I have put it in the flower that is there. You can just tell something to yourself and just give yourself a hug right now. And that is most important because it's focusing on yourself, focusing on your energies. So, yeah. Okay. Once you're done, you just do a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever suits you. Yeah. Yeah. I hope more people are feeling comfortable or in space right now. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to do a body scan exercise before I end the session. So I just want you all to get comfortable. Close your eyes. Yeah. Can you all close your eyes and focus on your breath? And bring your awareness to a body part that makes you feel comfortable and rested. It can be your arms, toes, fingers, or eyes. Just notice how the sensations are in that body part. Just keep on deep breathing. Take a deep breath and leave the breath. Gently move to the next part of the body, which you feel is having tension, worry, or pain. Okay. I would also want you to gently bring your awareness back. If you're having any thoughts, any signs of stress, any signs of feeling discomfort, just observe the environment around. Take a deep breath and release the breath. Take a deep breath and release the breath. You can focus on another body part and just do the same. Like take a deep breath and also focus on how that body part is making you feel discomfort or comfort and how it is for you. Release your breath and take a deep breath again. Once you feel safe and comfortable, if you all feel comfortable, you can slowly open your eyes and we can be back in the meeting. And yes, so I think that I've come to the end of the PPT, but our discussion is always on. You can criticize, comment, have questions, have doubts, and we can talk about it. Owing to the fact that today's world mental health is important, mental health is an important, completely important aspect of our lives. So yes, I just open the grounds for questions, queries, doubts, anything that you want to say, discuss. So yeah.
I think there is definitely a very strong sense of calm, Rupsha. So everyone's taking their time to respond with questions. I'm sure, because even I had a lot of questions on my mind, but I feel after this exercise, uh, you are not as bothered as you were possibly at the start of the session. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would request the participants feel free to raise questions to Rupsha. I would like to ask a question, Rupsha, just to start the momentum for everyone, as all of us, stay comfortable in our calmness. And is that quite often we are asked questions, Rupsha, by students and as aspirants who may not have pursued psychology in their 11th, 12th, or their bachelors. And they ask us that how can I still, in any format, make it to the mental health care sector, or even be part of an academic discourse that can take me closer to the mental health care domains.
Yes.
So do we have an answer to that question, Rupsha, that someone without a background of psychology in 11th, 12th, or say a bachelor's, but very keen to then specialize later on, how can someone look into getting close to the mental health care sector?
So thank you for the question, sir. I think that the most important thing that you can do, like anyone can do, hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Absolutely.
I'm sorry for the glitch. The thing is that the most important thing an individual can do is that volunteering at mental health care institutions. To just start off, for that matter of fact, just start off with volunteering, looking at the population that interests you, looking at individuals those interest you. The thing you can do is that interdisciplinary, as I said, you have to reflect on how you can as an individual bring change. So there's a lot of individuals who does small changes, like the individuals who like you mentioned about an individual who makes posters so that helpline numbers are viable to everyone. So these are the small ways through which you can help in the mental health sector. You don't need to be a therapist at first, but what you need to do is that have a very empathetic perspective towards mental health. Do small steps for good, like the bigger, greater one. And the most important thing is doing the unconventional things so that You can break the cycle of the convention. So that is the most important thing in the mental health sector. So yes.
Thank you, Rupsa. I think Shayoni has a question. Shayoni, feel free to ask using the microphone. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for such an amazing session. I'm Shiny. I'm currently pursuing my sociology honors from Loreto College. And my question is, how do you think in a world where so much inequality is prevalent, something like mental health, which does not generally fall under the normative
So
topics of
much.
discussion, like
Your voice broke so much. Hello.
hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Shiny. You're not audible. Can you just, yeah, can you be a
Am I
little loud?
audible?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. So, how do you think in a world where so much inequality is prevalent, something like mental health, which we does not generally consider under the normative topics of discussion, how do we make the marginalized groups aware of its importance and thereafter like work towards having a good mental health?
Hello.
Hello.
Shiny, I would request you to put your question in the chat box. Your voice broke, so it became very difficult for me to reflect on the whole thing.
Yes,
So I
sure,
would
sure.
want you to put the question in the chat box so that I can like reflect that, right? Till the time Shani is putting down her question, I just want to ask everyone in the group anything you want to say, anything you want to discuss, any queries and questions you have, you can just put it down in the chat box and we can talk about it. We can discuss about it more in a more different setup and in different outcomes. So, yes. Yes. Any queries, any questions, please put it in the chat box. Like anyone, whatever
Issues you have.
we can talk about it, we can reflect it. And anything relating mental health sector, we can talk about it more. So I would read out Shawni's question loud. So she said, my question is, how do you think in a world where so much inequality is present, something like mental health, which doesn't generally fall under the normative topic of discussion, how can we make the marginalized group aware of its importance and help them have a better mental health? Wonderful. Thank you for raising this question because this is a most important thing. When we talk about intersections to mental health, this is a very important thing. So Divya Kandukuri, one of our seniors and mates, started Blue Dawn Foundation. It's about Dalit mental health and how Dalits at very subsidized prices can access therapy and psychiatric services. Field Action Project by TIS, which is Tarasha, which is rehabilitating women from Thane Mental Hospital to the normal population. So this a lot of work has been done in Ishwar Shankalpo in West Bengal. There has been work so that the individuals who are schizophrenics, their families like trace back even Shraddhanjali Foundation, which is in Karjat, Mumbai, they do the same thing, and they have done 6,000 schizophrenic patients. They have rehabilitated, they have sent home. And that's the wonderful work of mental health and people are doing in this sector. And you also know about Anjali Mental Health organization. They have also been doing work. So there will be issues, there will be intersections. We have to know how to break those intersections, how we can facilitate the individuals to provide a better mental health care. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Shiny. Yes, no, like not answered anything. Okay, Shiny gives a heart. Thank you, Shiny. Okay, anyone else who has any questions, any queries, anything you want to say? Yeah. There's a question from Dibbo Jyoti. In country like India, we have policy for education, national education policy, policy for youth development and well-being, national youth policy. So can we have some for mental health policy? So yes, Dibbo Jyoti, we have the Mental Health Care Act, which actually provides a lot of safety, security, and care to individuals with mental health issues. The problem with the Mental Health Care Act is that it talks about a lot on how to rehabilitate and what type of individuals are required to rehabilitate, keep the individuals in the rehabilitation, the consent, and these things associated. It doesn't talk about insurance. It doesn't talk about integration. It doesn't talk about other mental health plans. So you know about district mental health programs and national mental health program. So district mental health program is working towards these things, and it's very slow because of the budget, a lot of budget, and clinical psychologists are less in number, psychiatrists are not getting appointed, regional mental hospitals are vacant. So these are the few glitches that has been happening. But there are organizations like SCARF, Schizophrenia Association of India. SCARF is working wonderfully to actually use a lot of rural populations, the urban-rural divide, they're removing it. And NIMHANS has a lot of programs towards it. And there has also been programs in TIS, which works towards mental
Health and policies regarding that.
Like one is ICOL, which is run by the School of Human Ecology, and which really works towards attending to clients all over India. Like I remember one of my friends of who was working in ICOL told me that it's very important to cater to these individuals when during the lockdown period. There were excessive calls of individuals who were migrant laborers, who were individuals surviving domestic violence at home. So how they would deal with it, individuals, like trying to attempt suicide. So there have been a lot of individuals who are accessing these helpline numbers. One is run by IPH, Institute of Psychological Health, which is Maitra. There are helplines which are being run. So policies on ground needs to be worked out more intensely in India, which is in a very nascent stage. It is working better, and in some states it's working wonderful. Like it's working wonderful in Karnataka and some places down south, but majority of the issues also lies in budget and budgetary funding. So yeah, thank you for the question. I hope it answers the question. It answers yes, no, just. And thank you. Like there's a lot of other individuals who said that they don't have question, and they just want to thank me, and I also thank them for being present today and giving me their time. It's so important. So there's another question. So Ayan mentions like, I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's and had a question. Not sure if this is relevant, but I wanted some advice on how to finding internships or volunteerships that will enhance our knowledge and practical experience in psychology, and not some role like social media intern or content creator. First of all, look for organizations which work for the sector of mental health. Okay, so if different in your city, in the place you're staying, look for hospitals, mental health care institutes, which are providing volunteering or internship facilities. Try to contact them. Try to look into the roles and responsibilities and the things that you can adhere to. So there are foundations like Isha Shankalpo in West Bengal. There are hospitals like Calcutta Bavlov Hospital where I have interned. There has been Anjali where I have interned. In Delhi, there's a lot of hospitals in Delhi. In Bombay, there are a lot of hospitals, a lot of clinics where you can assess yourself, where you can, work, and you have to be very clear about the roles and responsibilities that you want to do. So yes, be very strict and very clear about that what you want to really do in that setting. So yes. Okay. I hope that answers your questions, queries. Anything else you can just ask. Answers, not answers. Yeah.
Right. So any other questions from any of other participants, feel free to share. We did see many of you asking pretty important questions, and I hope someone's questions also helps to clear the doubts of not only theirs, but also others. So Rupsa, I just had one thought on my mind, and I was just kind of wondering that you mentioned at one point, I think answering someone's question, that like the mental health act or the policy framework, which is already existing, it does have certain maybe shortcomings in terms of implementation or the type of targets that as a therapist and as a practitioner that you have experienced during your work, and you are still working. Now, when I look at problems around us and I see that we have solved problems like the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
We have created a huge IT hub across our country to solve a lot of other aspects of access using technology.
Yeah.
If you would like to know from your end that what could be the little basic steps taken, even say from a school level upwards, in order to come to terms with the acceptance of mental health care in our country. Because the proportion I'm noticing every year is increasing, the burden of mental health disease compared to the support that we're able to provide. And possibly there are so many people in the invisible population, right, whom we cannot really locate. So through your experience, Rupsa, what could be like, some final points to our participants of these little things that, they can themselves advocate for a more, for a more resilient mental health care support? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And I just want to tell a few things. First of all, removing the taboo associated to mental health. Removing taboo associated to the fact that anyone is seeking mental health care, anyone is going to a psychiatrist, anyone is going to a psychologist, trying to be a good, listener, as a friend, as a partner, as a parent, as people around, as just people existing in society. Just listen. Just don't jump to things like, ye to sabko hota hai. It happens to everyone. You will scrape through it. Or, oh, just at a breakup, it's fine. You just manage. No, it doesn't happen like that. So first of all, having a very empathetic outlook towards everyone's feelings. Secondly, looking into the perspective that you can be a catalyst of change. Like how I mentioned about volunteering. And I also want to mention about small things like, doing little basic things, like a little bit of community volunteering program, having an interdisciplinary idea about mental health, which includes like, you can work in a community setup, right? It is not only hospitals that you're looking into, the community setup, just volunteering in the community, just, talking to elderlies of the community. It also reduces the burden of these elderlies. If you are interested with children, just talking with the children, reflecting them, if you are a friend, just having a peer group, maybe just talking, discussing. So just small things like this. Also, there are a lot of individuals who talks about, using a lot of electronic media to mental health. But the thing is that it's often not accessible. Often people are not satisfied. So just look into the fact that what is under your control, what is out of your control, which also makes us think that, what you can do to help individual go to the psychiatrist. How can you be as a friend and tell that person, like, yes, I can go with you, I can accompany you. I can also be your, individual who can help you giving care. So that is also an important perspective. So a lot of investment as young people we have to do investment in mental health sector, which includes people from every domain, every field. It's about investing in your emotions, investing in the people around, investing in the community, accessing a lot of emotions in the community. So these things you can do, and we can actually access good resources out of the community. Yeah. So everyone is a catalyst. Everyone is a drop which adds to the sea. So small steps will lead to easing the burden of mental health sector, and not ignoring it and accepting the fact that yes, problems happen, but we will solve it. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Rupsa, for cementing the optimism that we all have been seeking. And this truly is not the end of the session, but as I mentioned at the beginning, the start of more sustained work. Yeah. From Catalyst, we have a renewed hope tonight. Thanks to Rupsa, thanks to all of your questions. The fact that Rupsa also highlights that each of us contributes to the cumulative impact that is needed to ease the burden. I think that is significant in our take back from this evening with Rupsa. The other aspect which I would like to highlight to each and every participant is that, as I mentioned, we will be slowly and steadily sharing opportunities for all of you to constructively, as in the words of Rupsa, start contributing with little steps towards the domain of mental health resilience, towards the domain of understanding the sector better. We all are in a stage, I believe, where many of the aspects about mental health care, our own mind, may not be completely known to us. And that is an ever-evolving scope of learning and acceptance that we should be all always looking up to. So on that note, we would have loved to continue with the session, but as we have a time constraint, we would like to round off tonight's discussion with Rupsa on the note that on World Mental Health Day, we look forward, as we had highlighted during our communication, the way forward is to definitely stay together, think together, share and care for each other, and also be aware of our each and every individual's contribution towards easing the burden, as well as raising the acceptance for enabling access to mental health care. We would love to be an enabler. We would love to be, again in Rupsa's word, the friend who will encourage you to go to the doctor to get yourself checked, or to just go and speak, or to refer to, or to share your problems and identify the safe space that we all look forward to. Thank you so much, Rupsa, for your time, for your experience to be shared with us. And we hope that tonight's discussion motivates the participants to look forward to contribute in the mental health care sector, and also think constructively of how they can step up to careers that will impact stronger mental health resilience in the days ahead. Thank you so much for your time, Rupsa. Thank you so much, every participant.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, giving your time. And thank you, sir, for including me in the conversation. I'm indebted to all of you. Thank you for being there. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Rupsa.